Hey ladies and jellyfish, nice to see you here. Now that I've covered every possible review for SpongeBob, we can move our focus to some more grown-up topics. Today's lesson is about... wait, seems like there's still one more SpongeBob video to make. And oh crap, this'll be interesting. SpongeBob in Tehran is a Persian bootleg SpongeBob movie made back in 2017. As far as I know, this was fully made in Iran and was not licensed by Nickelodeon or Viacom, meaning this was likely an illegal movie. But over the past few months, it's gotten some more attention because of some YouTubers uploading this movie to YouTube, and some YouTubers like Salty and Antuni making some great reviews on it too. You might ask why I'm doing this video since they've already said everything that needs to be said. Well, they kinda didn't. You see, the thing is, I'm originally Persian. For some background, I moved to Canada from Iran when I was 5, and I'm not in support of the current regime or religious, by the way. Be that as it may, I think I can offer some more knowledge and criticism to this, since I can understand the movie without the subtitles. But something else that some of you might not have known before coming here is that I'm actually the one who translated the whole mess of a film onto Extra Absorbent's original upload of it, which is also the version Salty used in his video in the movie. However, due to Viacom taking Extra's upload down for some reason, even though it's not even owned by Viacom, another upload by Josh Animate used my subtitles, and thus, they're mine. Yup, I did waste my time spending several days painstakingly translating this movie just so you disgusting Mongols could enjoy it ironically like I did. So, considering I can fluently speak Farsi, and I was the one who subbed this thing, and my channel is about 90% SpongeBob, let's get into the review of SpongeBob in Tehran. Before we get into anything else, let's talk about what you've probably already noticed, the animation. It looks like it's 3D on top of a 2D background, and I mean, what is this? I don't know if kids in Iran think this is really what SpongeBob looks like, as I haven't been there in about 10 years, but this is some really bad looking crap. Textures blend in and out of characters, and I mean, just look at their faces. Why does Squidward look like that? Why is every fish model on this bus the same color? Look, I don't know how tight of a shoestring budget they were dealing with when they made this, but surely they could have done better than this. This seems more like a joke, or something I could have drawn in kindergarten. I've seen a demo reel on one of the director's YouTube channel, and it actually looks pretty decent, if only they employed that here. Let's talk about the story. Yeah, that's a funny joke. I know Antuni already mentioned this in his video, but why do they use Disney font as well as SpongeBob font for the intro credits? Did they run out of fonts on RipoffAmericanCompanies.com? The story starts off with the Bikini Bottomites getting their insides sucked away as we go to Mr. Krabs in his office. SpongeBob comes in and says they are in trouble. After a lot of filler, he explains that they're out of the secret formula. The customers want a refund, which makes Mr. Krabs close the restaurant and suck everybody out of their seats with a vacuum. You'll also notice that they use a lot of screenshots and backgrounds from the show because they were lazy. So some parts look like the show and some don't. It's really weird. So to mend the situation, they go and watch a movie. I don't know why, they just kinda do it. And oh come on, some scenes had an error in Premiere Pro and they just left that in the movie. The voice acting here is its own story too. SpongeBob's voice is actually pretty good, especially when compared to some other terrible dubs from other countries. Patrick's can be a bit annoying and dumb sometimes, and some of his stupid Farsi dialogue doesn't help much, which was something I found out the hard way while translating this. Squidward's is mediocre. While it's not terrible, it can be annoying and hard to understand sometimes. Again, I know this firsthand since I had to hear the dialogue while translating it. And Mr. Krabs' voice is terrible, super loud and annoying. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the voices to be totally honest, but some of them are okay. Anyway, they realize they have to go to Iran, and we get some pictures of the Krusty Krab from the second movie. This exposition scene ends after 7 minutes, and we jump into the second plot. Yeah, you'll notice this movie is split up into a few sections, because there's not really a main plot to follow, so they just kinda waste time doing random stuff. We got to the Tehran airport, which let's be honest, this is a lot better than the real life airport, and their flight is delayed, so we go back to Bikini Bottom. We got to the Chum Bucket as we used rehash footage from the show, and introduced a stupid side plot about Plankton wanting the formula. Come on, this is annoying even in the real show. Also, we didn't need to cut back and forth twice. You could have shown Plankton before cutting to Tehran and they didn't have a delay. It's a complete waste of time, kinda like this movie. We go to a cab as SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward get mad at the Tehran traffic. Look, I don't know much about Iran due to not being there for nearly a decade, but even I remember the terrible traffic. It's a bit funny for them to do the self-aware humor as people of that country. We got to Plankton going for the formula, but haha, he fails. This Plankton subplot never goes anywhere, by the way. Plankton finds out that SpongeBob and friends are in Tehran, so he says bye to Karen in the saddest scene possible, and goes to Iran. SpongeBob and crew are throwing up in the cab, which as someone who went to Iran for a few weeks a few years ago, I can confirm the weather is super polluted there. It's hilarious that they even went as far as to make a joke about that. Haha, he called him Tubby! And holy crap, what's going on with SpongeBob's model? Plankton flies to Iran, but his airplane crashes. Again, this side plot is so random that it could just not be in the movie and there would be no difference. The crew get to their hotel and oh crap, this movie is a masterpiece! So they get there, and they call Mr. Krabs to confirm their hotel. This goes on for a while because this movie can't be less than eternity in length. And then we get probably the funniest and stupidest segment of the film, Eat Eat. Why do we need credits before every segment? I have no idea. We start the scene in their hotel room as Squidward asks the others their plans for the next day, which I think is supposed to be about them getting the secret formula or finding this guy who has it. Anyway, we get something really funny in my opinion. They just tell him about where they want to eat.
برنامه اصلیمون چی میشه؟
برنامه اصلی؟
پاتریک پختاپوش درست میگه ها؟ خب معلومه من همیشه درست میگم. درسته دیزی پاتریک دیزی رو فراموش کردیم.
ببخشید.
از همون اول نباید با این بی اقلامی اومدم سفر.
It's things like this that make this ironically funny for me. The next day, this happens.
چی؟ خنده نداره به چی میخندین؟ خیلی بامزه. لباس از کجا خریدی پختاپوش؟ آقای خرچنگ گفت اینو بپوشم. ای وای مردم از خنده پختاپوش. رو بخندین کجاش خنده داره فقط شما دوتا دارین میخندین.
Yeah, for non-Persians watching, his shirt says missing on it, and this scene is also kind of funny in a weird way. We got to them eating kelle pache, which is basically a soup with some meat in it, and this guy says some stuff. What the frick is going on? So this restaurant owner guy kind of makes fun of Squidward's clothes and says he can work for him and stuff, and SpongeBob and Patrick just say they want to trade him for 4 bowls of soup. This is all just too funny. So we just keep cutting from restaurant to restaurant watching them eat different foods. It's really not that funny and drags on for way too long. I don't know if they wanted to showcase Persian foods, which are delicious by the way, but that's still up for speculation. They try to ask the restaurant owners if they know the guy they're looking for, but oh, they just took a selfie. Bring me the news! After a few minutes of them eating in the same backgrounds over and over, we got to the hotel, and wait, why does this guy have bloodshot eyes in this picture? Did anyone think this was a good idea? And next segment. I will admit, while I was translating this, I was so dead inside that I called it The Police Enters, when really it's The Detective Enters. Stupid ass scare. Anyway, this panther fish comes in, and yeah, I didn't mistranslate that. They literally call him a panther fish. He's apparently a detective, and his name is literally Detective Fake. And he's played as a liar since he just pretends to find people based off photos, but they just trust him and this character literally goes nowhere. So he says that they can't search for the guy yet because tomorrow is a soccer derby, which will be explained later. The next day, we spent a few minutes waiting for them to learn how to get a cab. To this film's credit, some of these bootleg mockbusters like Little Panda Fighter, although being incredibly stupid and hilarious, never seem to go anywhere and drag out for so long. This movie, while also having a very crappy and slow plot, actually tells jokes and keeps you watching somehow. So I guess that's some sort of achievement at the end of the day.
خیلی خوب. باب، پاتریک، خوب دقت کنید. برای گرفتن ماشین اول کنار خیابون میاییم و منتظر ماشین میمونیم. به جان خدا نابغه شو.
یک کارگاه واقعیه.
و اما آخرین و مهمترین مرحله استفاده از کلمه جادویی دربست. دربست.
این وای شده.
گفتم نابغه به جان خدا.
For those unfamiliar, including me, Dadabast means that instead of paying the standard shared taxi ride, you pay more for only a solo ride, and Dadabast literally means closed doors. Kind of like a Persian Easter egg, if you will. Something really annoying as well is they just keep repeating certain words and drag out conversations for so long. So like, for example, this detective guy asked them a question, and they just keep answering wrong like 10 times before he says the answer. Just say the damn answer and stop wasting everyone's time. We go to a bus where all the passengers are hints at what Avatar 2 will look like, as we learn about the wonders of potholes. So let me just stop it here. We started this story with the secret formula running out, then we went to Iran to find this guy or something, and 40 minutes has passed without a single noteworthy thing happening. They just ate food for 15 minutes and talked about potholes instead of actually making the plot work. And then the detective's wife and kids call him. Like, why is any of this crap in the movie? I mean, it's really funny nonetheless, but only really ironically. We got to the stadium at the soccer match, and oh god, what are these fish models? So we talk about how the commentator gets hit by RPGs every day, and then we actually get to the main plot. Now, the extra absorbent version I translated ended around here, which is why some full versions of the movie don't have translations for the last few minutes. If you're curious, the detective says that the guy from the picture is going to the north of Iran, and we see Mr. Krabs selling shirts there because why not, and Plankton returning and plotting to go to the north to get the formula. I think this is their sequel material, or it might have been the cliffhanger to another segment that doesn't exist yet, but even with the extended few minutes, we still get no real resolution to the story. Hey filmmakers, I know this was a complete joke, but couldn't you spend your time animating the actual story instead of pointless scenes that go absolutely nowhere? We never see Squidward after the detective comes in, nothing is really resolved, and I don't know if it was a sequel to of this, but as it is, SpongeBob in Tehran is one of the weirdest things I've seen in my life. It's funny in some scenes, and some of the god-awful animation can be funny in some places, but it's also really stupid and drags out for way too long. So yeah, sorry to any Persian viewers who can't even see this without 1,000 VPNs in Iran. But to the rest of you, I hope you enjoyed my review of the Bootleg SpongeBob in Tehran movie, and I hope you all appreciate the amount of brain cells I lost while translating this mess last year. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Mr. A.S.K, join my Discord server with the link below, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you beautiful ladies and jellyfish next time. Ciao! Thanks for watching. You can click on the left for all my other SpongeBob videos, which are all about the real American show, and on the right for my SpongeBob retrospective. And you can click on the middle to subscribe. Ciao!